Fast milling, inner arc, you can select 4 corners, then enter the radius. When making the F-frame, you can use the outer arc function, select the upper front corner, and enter the radius. The shape you made can be restored to a rectangle and all shapes are removed. Use the chamfer angle, set to the left front corner, set the cut width to 600, and cut to a depth of 100. Use the right angle, set to the right front angle, cut width to 600, and cut depth to 100. Use the cut square, set to the front, set the distance from the left to 600, the cut width to 100, and the cut depth to 200. It should be noted that the distance from the left side of the square to the left side of the board is the distance from the left side. Use the recovery rectangle to cancel the shape of this board. Use the digging half circle, set the distance from the left to 1000, and the radius of the circle to 200. It should be noted that the left side refers to the left side of the semicircle and the left side of the plate. Use the inner circle to dip. Enter the center of the circle from the left, the center of the circle, and the radius of the circle. It should be noted that the center of the circle is used for the left and the distance, not the edge of the circle. Use the inside of the digging to enter the square to the left, the square to the rear, the square width and the square depth. The width of the square is the left and right direction, and the depth of the square is the front and rear direction. When the input parameter exceeds the size range of the plate, the software will prompt an error and cannot generate the shape. Draw 2 cross-stitched plates. Use the plate to extend, and extend right to extend the horizontal plate to the right, so that the 2 plates overlap. To use the horizontal plate to dig the missing part, you need to determine how much the left side of the square is missing. At this time, click the vertical plate to see the left and right clearance distance of the vertical plate. Select the horizontal plate, use the cut square, the direction is the front, set the left to 973, the width is 18, the depth is half of the depth of the horizontal plate. It should be noted that 18 is generally reserved plate thickness, easy to card into. Hidden panels can see the gaps that are dug out. After the crossplate has been dug, the vertical plate needs to be dug. At this time, you need to check the amount of the horizontal plate. Then select the riser, use the cut square, the direction is set to the back, set the distance to 1123, the width is 18, the depth is half of the vertical plate depth, hide the horizontal plate. View the gap of the vertical plate. When you are working on a computer desk, you need to dig an inner circle and put the power cord into the inner circle. Use the digging inner circle function. Need to dig a square groove in the drawer. Place the square groove in the middle of the pumping surface, and make the inlay handle. First determine the size of the square slot. Input the width of the slot 100 and depth 30. The width refers to the left and right direction. The depth is the up and down direction. And the cutting depth of the input square slot 10. Set the square slot to the left to be half the width of the entire pumping surface and then subtract half of the width of the square slot, so that the square slot is centered at the horizontal position of the pumping surface. Set the square groove to half the height of the entire pumping surface and then subtract half of the height of the square groove, so that the square groove is centered in the vertical position of the pumping surface. Note that the square groove is set to the front. Use a quick digging inner circle to dig a keyhole. Set the center of the circle to the left to be half the width of the pumping surface, and the center of the circle to the height of the pumping surface minus 30. That is, set the center of the circle to 30. The radius of the circle is 7.5.